By the end of this video, you will be able to create your own pickup items for your games using Unity and C Sharp. Be sure to watch to the end. For the best tips and tricks on game programming and game development, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a video every Monday. If you are already a subscriber, thank you. Your support really means the world to us. My name is George Wulfers and I'm a professional game developer. Let me guide you on your game development journey. Pickups. So what are they and how do they work?
Pickups in games is pretty much when your player can interact with objects um, within the world, and those objects can either be giving you an extra life, giving you a power up, some type of power, maybe a different weapon, um, and and maybe points. So those are pretty much pickups. Um, Pickups can pretty much be in almost any game. They're in games like 2D shooters, platformers, in 3D games like platformers as well, or 3D shooters, either first person or third person. So yeah, they're pretty much in every game that you can think of if it makes sense for it to be there. I mean, even in a car racing game, you can have um, power-ups like in Super Mario or Mario Kart. Um, so yeah, pretty much a pickup gives you either an ability, life, or points. And so how do they work? Essentially, you have an object, and whenever your character, I mean, they can technically work in multiple different ways depending on your needs, but let's talk about, I guess, in a 2D platformer, how do they work? Essentially, your player is going to collide with this object. Whenever it collides with this object, um, this object is going to have, um, I guess you could make it have a type of what type of object it is, and based on that type, it can call an event where it updates or gives you money, gives you points, gives you life, or adds a weapon into your inventory, or makes your bullets for your weapon um, um, shoot fire or whatever it is that you want. So, and we are going to be implementing here a pretty basic, or the roots, I guess you could call it, of our pickup system.
Implementing the basics.
Okay, so let's go ahead and implement our class. Um, we're going to go into that scripts folder, and in here we are going to create a new folder. We're going to call it pickups. And within that folder, we are going to create a script, and we're going to call it pickup base, just so that we know that this is going to be the base class. Today we are going to be creating pretty much a generic, well, not really a generic one. We're just going to be creating a pickup that is going to modify our speed based on duration, and that's it. Later on, we'll be implementing other pickup items. So we might do it the OOP style route where we do the kind of like the base implementation in this base class, and then once we inherit from this class into different children, then those children are going to have something else. I'm not too sure exactly how that's going to work out yet, but that's the route that I'm going with at the moment. So let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so for this class, we're going to have our namespace as always inside of gameplay, and it's going to be called pickups. So this class is going to be inherited uh, from mono behavior, since we want this to actually be in the game, in the scene, and use it as a component. So we need three variables for now. The first one is going to be the value or the amount that we're going to change our speed um, by, and then we also need a duration variable that is going to let us know how long we actually want to run to have the change in speed. And then after that timer is complete, we'll revert back to the speed that we had before. Um, and then this is just so that whenever we collide with it, we only run it once, and then so that we don't run it multiple times and increase our speed by a lot. So let's go into a movement controller, because the movement controller, as we said before, this is where all of the interactions with the world happen. So what we want to do in here is we want to check our collision against our pickup. And here we just gotta import this. So we are gonna be checking to see if we collide against the pickup based on our tag, on the tag of that object. And if it is, then we're gonna be getting that base class, the pickup base. And we're gonna make sure that it is valid, that it is not null. And we're going to see if it's not active. If it's not active, that means we have not used it yet. So we have to make it active here. Once that happens, we're just going to pop up that we picked up the item and then the item name in the console, just for our purposes, for testing purposes. And then we're going to be running this core routine. Now what this core routine is going to do is it's going to be taking in the pickup item, and it's going to be setting this pickup object as it's going to be disactivating it because we don't want to see it anymore once we collide with it. After that, we're going to capture our current speed and store it for later in the old speed variable that we have here. And then we're going to be changing our speed by the speed change within our pickup. We're going to be starting the timer at 0, and we're going to be incrementing it in this while loop until we get to the duration that we wanted. It's going to be in seconds, this duration, so make sure you keep that in mind. And then we're just going to be adding the delta time to the timer, and we're going to be calling yield return null because we want this loop to go once and then we get out of it so that the coroutine can pause for a little bit, so that the anything that the game has to do can actually happen, and then we'll go back inside here um, and update the timer again, and then we'll um, get out of this loop or this coroutine again, so that this is how coroutines work. They're kind of like parallel processes. I forget the name. I just forgot what they're actually called in C++. Um, Threads. It's kind of like a thread, so that you can run multiple processes parallel to actually the main process, which is the game. Um, and this allows us to do that. In here, you could do like new wait for, I don't know, end of frame or for seconds or whatever. Um, but for now, we're just going to be doing this. So once the timer has reached the duration of that pickup, we're going to be setting our speed back to whatever it was right here. And then we're just going to be destroying this pickup object. In the future, we will not destroy it probably. What we would do is we would return it back into the resource that the system that will be handling the resources, which would be our object pooling system. Um, but we'll set that up later on. And then at the end, we just call the same thing to get out of it. I'm not entirely sure if we need to call this, but it's probably good practice too.
Let me know in the comments below if there is anything you are currently struggling with. What's up, Wolfpack? I'm interrupting the video just to make a quick announcement. I know that programming can be really hard. Um, uh, it took me a while to be able to learn things on my own. I've always wished I had people there who had already done it, helping me along the way with questions with that I had, because I wasn't 100% sure if I was doing things correctly or what other routes I could take when it comes to game programming or just programming in general. It's tough when you're trying to learn something by yourself. And if you're one of those people, or if you just want to be able to talk to someone and ask questions directly who has been where you are today and who is in the industry, well, I've left a link down in the description below for you. If you want to hop on a call with me, you will be able to do it through this link. The first session is free, and we can talk about whatever it is that you want. Placing the pickup items in the world.
Okay, so let's now test it out, and let's go into here. We are going to be creating a 2D object sprite, and I'm just going to be calling it speed change. We are going to be setting the tag for it to pick up. If you don't know how to do that, we can go, or if you don't have pickup tag, we can go to add tag here, and then just click on that plus sign, and we can just name it like that, and then it'll show up there. And then you can go back to your object and then just tag it as a pickup. And we are going to be setting the sorting layer to be mid-ground, probably. And let's just pick whatever item you wanted to display, to act as it. We'll just use this little bag for now. Um, And then we're going to be adding the collision, which we don't have to mess with because it already automatically sets it to be properly bounding that image. And then we just want to add the pickup base script into our game object. And let's say that we wanted to do 50 speed change. We're going to be changing the speed to 50. And then our duration is just going to be 5.
Testing.
So let's select the player and let's play it. And let's take a look at the inspector. So right now our speed is 10. And if we get this bag, you can see that it changed to 50 and we're actually going moving pretty fast. And now the duration ended for 5 seconds. And now we're back at our regular speed, which is 10. And that's pretty much how you create a simple pickup for your game. In the next video, we may go into developing more pickup items and expanding on this system, or we may go and actually fix some issues that we currently have with the enemies, that they don't actually use gravity to move, they just float around essentially.
Congratulations! Now you can add pickup items into your own game. If you would like to follow along, I have provided a link to our project in the description below. I have some great news. We have just launched our online store where you'll be able to find different types of games, board games, whatever you would like, and as well as some of our very own apparel items, face masks, and the like. Links are on the description below. If you would like me to have certain items that you would like to see there, let me know in the comments below or send me a message. Currently, we only have a few items, but as we grow, we are planning on expanding the selection that we currently have. So if you would like to support us, this is another way that you can do that. Don't forget to join our community. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video and if it provided value to you, hit that like button. It really helps us with the algorithms so more people can watch it. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. It's free. And don't forget to share with your friends or with someone who will benefit from this. Check out these other videos next on how to make games using Unity. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and see you guys next week. From this. Thank you for watching and see you guys next week.